Okay, hey there guys, so today's video we're against PYCB, and this is now going to be the second war of the season. A little bit late, but we're just going to pretend this is on time and that everything's going well right now. So, this war, I'm just going to be straight up from the start. It's going to be a messy war for me. Messy in some different ways, and I'll talk about those matchups when we get there, but to start off, we have a nice, interesting fight here, I think, with this Scorpion, because when Scorpion is duped, I don't remember if he needs to petrify on you, if there's a condition for it. I'm trying to remember. I probably should have double checked that. But Scorpion can resist unblockable special attacks. So my plan going into this fight is I'm just going to power start one, I believe. Going to use my parries, get up to my rage, mess up really bad there at the start. As I said, messy war from me. Like the parries just not working. Not like as in a bug not working, as in like I'm just not parrying well. Using the boost, so I get almost all the way back up to an SP3. He has Scorpion Sense, but I'm just going to be throwing this SP2 into him because it's going to do a lot of damage. Even if he evades one of the hits, I'll still be right on him and hope that, it goes through, but the fight goes fine. There's no evade, nothing like that. So here's where the fight gets messy. Masochism, and when he has heal, he's unblockable. Void is global, Longshot is global. When you have a buff that ends, he gains an unstoppable passive. When I knock down, I give him a slow. But it's a pretty short slow in my opinion, if I'm being honest, plus Masochism can eat that slow. Like, look how quickly that slow goes off. So, every time I hit him, he's permanently unblockable this fight, is where I'm just going to start this, because I needed to have punished that there. That's a big thing. So, he's going to be permanently unblockable because every hit I do is going to apply a Wither. Now, here's where the fight gets bad. The unstoppable was still just ever so slightly on him there. Now I'm against my wall, and if you don't know how Longshot works, it is a chance to also nullify every time that you gain a buff. So if you can see where this is about to be going, every time I'm in my wall and I just have this Dex on me, so he's not backing up, he's only throwing heavies against me, so he's just gaining these unstoppables. I definitely, looking back at this fight, I definitely could have played this a bit better. But so I needed better AI where I would be able to get some more intercepts on him, like early in that fight. Needed to have punished that special, I needed something. I need to knock him down is what I'm thinking here. And again, anytime I take a hit on my block, anytime I hit him, he's going to go unblockable, and he's just constantly nullifying this dexterity on me. So I'm against my wall, he's unstoppable, unblockable. 90% of that fight, I get him down to 14%. Ay, what a death. What a stupid death by me. Like, after I died, I talked to my officer about the matchup, because Void clearly can do that matchup, but that matchup is also very clearly not ideal, right? That's very not ideal that he's that unblockable and that unstoppable. Now, there's two things. One, clearly it is attainable. I should have tried to just play better Quake in my wall. I should have just been on that Dex more. I needed to have found an opening when I didn't have the Dex on me. I don't know. But once I got in that wall, the fight was pretty much locked in, besides however well I can Dex and let my debuffs do the work. The reason for that being that, as I said, he nullifies it, and every time I hit him with that Dex, I never got good RNG one time, because Longshot has increased RNG. So it was always triggering that unstoppable. So I had no real way out of the wall once I got there. I would have needed him to be passive and just back off for a couple seconds, but he wasn't really going to do that. There's no reason for the AI to play like that. So that's the first death of the season, hopefully the only death of the season. Came off a deathless season, felt really good last season, but that's a really unfortunate death. My officer afterwards was apologizing about the matchup, but again, there were two things. One, I have True Focus here and guaranteed crits. He cannot evade either of those, so pretty much at no point in this fight should he be able to evade me, except for right here, I don't have True Strike, and I'm not guaranteed crits yet, but I trigger the guaranteed crits. But there is one thing about that fight for that Longshot is, this was the day that the loyalty store updated, I believe, and I pulled a R5 science gem, and my officer, I was like, R5 Void question mark, and he was like, yes. But we were also, I think, talking about something else for a rank up potentially, and I was low on gold, as you can see at only 3 million. We were talking about a different rank up, I think, or I just completely forgot to. I was supposed to rank 5 Void before this war. Now, technically, I believe that would have caused a solo in that fight, because he ended on 14%, and the stat increase plus the health increase, I would have survived that final combo. I would have had extra damage the whole fight, and the boosts obviously scale better with the higher base attack and all of that, so it's very possible I would have soloed with the rank 5, and also with the White Magneto that I place here. And I don't technically need the White Magneto here, especially if I had had a rank 5 Void. So technically it was doable, but this fight is going to go downhill in a pretty similar manner, because heavy immediately. Kind of missed a parry, heavy immediately. And she's an unblockable global, which means one thing. Once I dex, she's unstoppable now. So this fight, I have a bit more distance, so I'm able to try and wait it out, and I'm able to actually get up to my SP1 here. This is that same fight with that Chavez from the first war, where every 10 hits, I'm going to shrug off that Power Sting, and when I shrug off that Power Sting, I'm able to now throw another special, which I'm able to get a slow up. So this doesn't have Masochism, so it's a little bit better, because I'm not removing all of my debuffs instantly. But I need to be getting something. Right here is where the fight's going to go downhill. I lost my slow, and I have to dex, and she gains unstoppable, so I lose my invul. And I have another dex on me, so I go in unstoppable. Shoot, not again. That fight was so fresh in my mind. Again, this is a minute after it, so I'm please, no, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I'm shoot. I needed to have punished that one heavy, but I just didn't. She has the unstoppable. I'm okay. I should have checked better. I didn't know if I had a Power Sting on me or not. I knew I probably would with how the node works. You're permanently having a Power Sting after a certain point of the fight. So, I just have to throw it. I'm at 43%, and I take 20% damage from that. But I have the Fear of the Void. I have the Withers and the Slow, and that's enough to finish her off after quite a chunky SP3 there, if I'm being honest. That SP3 absolutely chunked her down. It was a very, very big one. Which was very, very fortunate for me. Very needed. So, this Void, I was told how to fight it. It was a little bit of a weird, not matchup, but a weird strategy from how I was told. And then they sent me a video, and the video didn't quite match that. So, I'm able to do that. I'm going to do okay on this fight, but it's a little bit of a weird fight, because he said you don't want to dex, you don't really want to be triggering your unstoppable, because you want your shrug up, because every time he gains that bar of power, he's going to put a Power Sting on you, and obviously with Void, you don't want debuffs. And I don't want to be triggering his Power Snack too often. But honestly, what I almost end up doing, I think, is I start kind of intentionally triggering his Power Snack a lot, just baiting out SP2s. Right here, I'm going to stop right there, because I know I might need to do a, what's it called? I might have needed to dex, but I accidentally take it to the face. And now I'm I can't really get off a, I can't really trigger Rage before an SP2, which honestly was a part of my potential strategy, would have been when it's at the right time, trigger Rage, and I should be able to get 2 SP2s off without a Power Sting, and I can take a 1 Power Sting or something if I need to, but I actually get Rage here. But I have to play it very, very carefully, because I need to make sure I time it so that I can remove his Fear of the Void debuffs, because I do not want that to get on me. And now I have the Power Sting. It's only doing 500 a tick from the Void, which honestly, that's not too much damage if it's just the one-time thing, you know? So, but the power gain he's going to get is pretty big when he just gets it. But right here, I'm going to be shrugging off these debuffs again. And again, this fight, once I got into it and I realized I just need to be playing this slow and steady. There's no reason to rush this fight. It's not too bad. What makes it a little bit annoying is you feel like you don't want to trigger your Rage, and it's very easy to accidentally trigger your Rage, or just to trigger your Rage, but it's very easy in this game to accidentally trigger it with just how the controls are. This game's not known for its amazing control functions, you know what I mean? So this fight, yeah, pretty just slow and steady, and don't want to do the dex when he's anything over 2 bars of power. If he's at 2 bars exactly, it's fine. But if you're a couple hits over 2 bars, it's very, very risky because 75% of a bar of power is so much power. So again, I just had those 2 like semi-risky void fights, and I actually have another void fight here, this rank 4 and spoiler I guess, rank 5 void after this war now is going to end up probably netting me a bunch of mini bosses over the next season or season and 2. Well, not if Void's banned next season, I guess, but for this season at least, I'll be getting a lot of mini boss action probably with Void, so that's pretty nice. But I was like, not like nervous, but I was just like, geez, because this node can be tricky. Tricky. And I took this node, I don't remember with who or against who in the off season, but it actually can become quite a lot with the global because right, the global, as I said, whenever you gain a buff, they can go unstoppable. And then this node also does have its own form of unblockable with bubble shield, which also like increases the block damage you take, but it also has root, which makes you more likely to take blocks and more likely to have to dex because you can't really hit him. And then it also gives him power focus, but power focus is not that big of a deal. It's actually kind of nice with Void because I'm just going to be able to hit him up to SP2, and then my strategy in this fight, by the way, just want to mention this really quick. My strategy for this fight was push him to SP3. That I'm just going to play super aggressive and push him to SP3. Instantly took hits to the face off of the first parry. Again, my parry was just not right that day. Only way to put it. It was just not good. So I want to like make sure I'm throwing an SP1 or a heavy is the other part of the strategy to keep the slows because he does have Wrath, which gives him unstoppables. So if I had done a better job about trying to like put on slows, it would have been probably a very good thing. And then, yeah, so what I was saying, so with the root, potential unblockable and potential unstoppable, it can combine to a lot on certain champions. Fortunately, Void for Sasquatch here is actually, I would say, not one of those matchups. It's actually like pretty good because I'm also able to power drain him if his power is ever getting like too high with Withers and Fear of the Void being all synced up. By the way, no, that was not your phone, that was my phone in the moment. A war where I already died taking a mini boss and I took a massive like lag spike. That was really fun and really entertaining for me. Very appreciated that. I also had some really good RNG with the Wrath of Tanarax here, with the fact that he was triggering them pretty quickly. And throwing his SP1 there was also very fortunate for me because he threw it during his he threw it on his unblockable hit, so I just had to dex it, just like normal. So, and that will be all of my fights. So the death didn't account to too much, fortunately. It was 12-3, so 2 of the deaths being BG1. We did not have the best war for Salty, which it happens. Someone was having some scheduling conflicts, and then my death, was definitely avoidable. I could have played it a little bit better there, in my opinion, especially watching it back. Definite things I could have done, including just having had a higher ranked champion. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry it's a little bit late. Gonna try to get back on top of this and get some other stuff out if I can, but we're just gonna stick with staying on top of my war videos. I think for this season is a place I'll start with. So thank you guys so much for coming back to watch. I'll see you guys later. Bye.